Hey everyone, Red Rebel Jeff Jones here. So in this video, I want to talk about the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's death. Now, put it, to put it mildly, it has been quite an interesting week. Mainly because it's very clear the game has changed. Charlie Kirk's death, his murder has really shook the conservative movement and people on the right. As we need to kind of get to action here. Yes, I think the conservative movement got really comfortable over the last few years in sticking with the rules of the game that we have known for so long. The problem was the left hadn't been following those rules of the game for so many years that they were basically, for lack of a better word, cheating to get ahead. We were playing the game kind of the right way, but they didn't care about playing it the right way. They cared about winning. I think that's kind of short, and that's how actually how they've gotten control of so much. I think the conservative movement really needed a shock to kind of go, look, we need to do this, and we need to do this strongly. No more BS. And unfortunately, that kick has come at the death of a young man who was truly inspiring. Now, the Conservative movement has reacted, I think, in the right way over this. The left, however, hmm, their reactions has been both non-surprising, but also you kind of hope for more. But again, I think the left had fallen too far to really have any other kind of reaction. There was his Charlie Kirk's opinions and statements have been misquoted numerous times. I think the one that was most famous was no, the misstatement was that he was saying that black women didn't have the mental processing power to do kind of big jobs. What he was referring to, he was being specific actually, because he didn't say black women. He was actually talking about four particular black women, including Ketanji Brown Jackson and Joy Reid, who they themselves openly admitted that they wouldn't be in their positions if it wasn't for affirmative action. And Charlie Kirk's position was you must not be very smart then if you need affirmative action to get to your positions rather than your own abilities and skills. I think that's actually a fair quote, a fair thing. Because like if you need affirmative action, if you need kind of race based hiring to get hired, you're probably not as skilled as the most qualified person in that pool, in that talent pool. Now, another thing has been lies about his killer. Now, look, just gonna say that there have been some people thinking that we hadn't caught his killer, that the guy that they got was a scapegoat. With the information we have now, we know he's the guy that pulled the trigger. Now, some people are saying that it was a hit that was called on Charlie Kirk. I don't think so, because if you're going to call a hit on Charlie Kirk, you wouldn't get someone like they got. You'd get someone that kind of knew what they were doing. But one of the things was that, and this is actually what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, the left keeps trying to convince the world that his killer was a Trump supporter, was someone in the MAGA movement, in the MAGA Great Again movement. While the evidence shows us that he was actually a radical leftist, with supports to Antifa and the radical trans ideology that we've seen. He was even dating a trans person who, weirdly enough, the people that knew his partner actually believed the partner would be the one to do something mad. So that was an interesting one, I will say, when I was reading those reports on that. Like, and just to put an example of this is what Jimmy Kimmel kind of said in it. He said that the MAGA gang was desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and that they were trying to score political points from Charlie Kirk's murder. Like, bewilderingly stupid. Now, of course, this is Jimmy Kimmel. I'm actually surprised anyone has given him the time of day for the last 5, 10 years, really, because he's not that smart of a guy. He's a bit thick. No, he was suspended, rightfully so, by ABC, and his show has been pulled off the air indefinitely. This is kind of something else that I want to kind of talk about a bit quick. People have been talking about how this is cancel culture, and the same thing the left has been doing for years. There's a big difference, I think, because what the left was doing for so many years was that they were looking through people's like Twitter history and finding a tweet from 6, 7 years ago and using that as a way to, oh, look, he's written this once, he must be a reprehensible person. You've all written stuff online that was pretty stupid. And I will say, some of the opinions I put online in the past have been quite stupid myself. And I was like, wow, that's my opinion has changed quite a bit since then. But kind of saying that that's who the person is now, I think, is a bit stupid. But that's kind of how the left has to operate because they can't actually win the arguments. But when it comes to what we're seeing right now, with people kind of getting fired for celebrating the death of someone on the other side, I do think that kind of goes beyond. It goes beyond what's kind of acceptable in our society. No, I don't think they should be imprisoned or anything like that. I think like, and this is actually business decisions people are kind of forgetting about. It's the business owners that are going, look, a person with kind of this kind of thought process isn't a good person to have in our company, which is fair enough. Like when you're saying that someone deserved to die, deserved to be murdered, and that other people that shared his opinions deserve the same thing. That's reprehensible. So, and what it is, they're being punished for what they're saying now, not what they said 6 or 7 years ago. And we always heard the idea that, oh, it's not cancel culture, it's accountability culture. Yeah, except they don't like it when they have to take accountability for what they say. Now, finally, I do want to say this kind of real quick. But this happened just a couple of hours ago, I think, and that is Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, has taken over as CEO of Turning Point USA. And Erica, you're probably not going to watch this, but this is a message to you. We have your back. The conservative movement and the right have your back. And we will work with you to build something that will honor Charlie Kirk's memory. Charlie, you were an inspiration to so many people, including myself. Rest in peace, my man.